To waste your command.
Perhaps if I subjected it to a large amount of N-rays, then hit it with the hammer.
Keep your bid stack in the black, don't be a wrong-leach debtor. Be the best that you would be if you were any better.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to my little slice of paradise in paradise. I didn't hear you come in. I'm focused something fierce on my current project, you see. Well, aren't you the observant one? Yes, a crabble egg. I'm more than happy to tell you all the details of my project, since you asked. Like I was saying, friend, this here crabble egg is gonna make me a mountain of bits. See, crabble eggs contain carbon, oxygen, iron, and are each self-contained units. You know what else has all those things? Skip drives. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna make me a mountain of bits selling skip drives made from crabble eggs. I'm basically there. I just need to figure out the process of turning the eggs into skip drives. And I'll be off to the races.
Right. Moving on. I consider this song a real standout number. Presuming you have
Wow, really? Everyone else told me I was mad. I really appreciate your words of encouragement, friend. I'll make sure you get one of the very first crabble-based skip drives. Please take this as a small thank you. It is? Fascinating. Did you see any unusual behavior? Any changes in crabble familial dynamics? Or the emergence of any new evolutionary traits? Oh, yes. Crabbles are fascinating. So much nuance and personality. You can tell how they're feeling just by listening to how they clack their shells. Thanks, friend. Now, back to my experiment.
Ask them defectors if they miss anything about Protectorate life.
10 bits, they said community.
Yep. Community.
Hell. I've stood this post so many times I could do it in my sleep.
Mind you don't let the bosses upstairs hear you say that. I start getting ideas in my head.
I must say, I have many reservations about this. The Protectorate has always provided for us. For what reason would we forsake such a stable and safe way of life?
Because, friend, with the Protectorate, you're only surviving. With Antes, you'll be thriving.
So your superiors order you to thrive?
No. It's just something you can do on your own. You'll have bosses and employers, but it's up to you to get yourself to the top and make yourself the employer.
I see. And why would I want to do such a thing? Surely my assigned place would provide me with all the necessities of life?
Yes. But you could have more necessities, and even some unnecessaries.
For what reason would I desire material possessions which are, by definition, unnecessary? And while we're on the topic, what are you potentially gaining from recruiting me?
Ah, that's one of the best parts, chum. When you sign someone else up, you get a bits bonus.
I see. This free market idea, seemingly not without merit. I'll require some time to ponder this.
Of course, friend. Two days, 3 at most, and they'll come looking for contracts. That recruiter bits bonus is as good as mine.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have. Defend it. Best keep your lamps lit for wildlife.
Hostile wildlife. Familial classification of Raptidon. Detected.
I swear that wasn't right.
This stretch runs between Fairfield and the Eastern Forward Operating Base. North of here is an old abandoned chapel. Dang, I ought to be charging for information.
Always been curious about the kind of training that gives farm. Can't imagine it's pleasant. You hear that? Sounds like a dragoon tromping about. I don't fancy making its acquaintance.
Warning. Turret sentries ahead. Is ahead. Ahead. Stealth advised.
Careful of friendly fire if you head down past the farm. Last time we wandered past, they opened fire on us. A real code 472. 472 means they're gonna fill anything that moves full of holes. Word is Milver Street is ordering a watch on the Protectorate survivors in Westport. Wants any changes? Changes reported. I hate that kind of work. It always sounds like so much effort. That kind of thing ain't even on my contract.
Milver Street is offering bits rewards for anything of import we can tell him. But I do love bits. Come on, friend. Let's go set our lamps on something juicy from Milver Street.
Scout, report.
Yes, sir. Looks like the repair center is still out of order, sir.
Excellent. At ease, Scout. Glad to hear that they haven't managed to repair it, even if Command has temporarily put the actual fighting to a stop. Move along.
Become homicidally irritable, though remain unaccountable for their actions. Find me in the renovated grain silo. Help me formulate a cure. Hello? Calling out to any random, non-kill crazed passerby who can hear this? Yes, you. I am trapped inside the research lab at the former site of the Eden's Bounty Agri-Center. You must help me. You must! My subordinates have become homicidally irritable, though remain unaccountable for their actions. Find me in the renovated grain silo. Help me formulate a cure.
What do you mean you're leaving?
Shift's over. I have a life outside this place, you know.
A life? Outside our lab? No. Audacious advances requires commitment. Absolute commitment! Commencing termination.
These Antes soldiers seem twitchy to you? Might want to sneak our way in.
What? Heard something. Ain't nothing there. Why is this door open? Isn't this lab meant to be secure? Doesn't anyone else have standards in this place? You want high security? I'll give you high security! Did you have an appointment? Yeah! How those standards working for you now? Huh? That's it! I am fed up!
Hostiles detected ahead. Recommended course of action. Violence.
Absolutely! Break our backs getting this lab set up in record time. Meanwhile, half of us are still sleeping outdoors. I want a void damn mattress!
Falling over every little thing he says. Wonderful idea, Product Envisioner Ormsby. First rate as always. Ugh, sycophants, all. Not a single spine between them.
I still can't recognize Lawson got kicked up the ladder before I did. All I get is more tasks, more pressure. Fancy new designation. No spread fucking raise. Everything have to be so goddamn irritating.
Engaging combat protocols.
Rolling up my...
Emergency protocol syringes prime.
Hostiles.
I will make my... Somebody cover me or what? Target relocate!
stretch.
For fuck's sake! This was the best job I ever had. Reload, damn you! Will somebody cover me or what?
Susceptible to danger.
I'm the aggrieved party here.
Ready to assist with agent's health needs. Resuming hostilities.
Place is in shambles. What happened here?
I've counted at least 6 horrendous death screams since you arrived. You must be affected as well. You there? You're likely affected too, aren't you? Scream twice for yes. Could it be? You seem an honest-to-goodness rational human being, unhindered by bloodlust, unshackled from their basal ganglia. Well then, by the Loeffler Risk Intercession Act, under Outbreak Provision 5A, I hereby press you into service to aid me in our present crisis. I, Omid Ormsby, Product Envisioner, Department of Proprietary Methodology and Audacious Advances, am your interim supervisor. Oh, all that pleading and the like. Yes. Well, it's only my second time trapped in a laboratory basement, and I do admit, I did panic just a little. But back to the exciting news about this incredible new opportunity. You working for me, as an aide-de-camp of sorts, on a brief yet no doubt exhilarating assignment. Our lab had been researching the red spores that grow nearby to see if they might contribute to future Auntie's Choice products. As per usual, we threw precaution to the wind. A local spore sample interacted with a wonderfully preservative-rich diet of Auntie's Choice personnel, inadvertently leading to a chance reaction causing profound irritability. To a somewhat homicidal degree, it would seem to appear. By that measure, our work here could be considered a moderate success. Well, of course, succeeding in a haphazard fashion is one of the first courses taught to Auntie's Choice students in any field. But yes, I am something of a visionary. You see, our lab is a far cry from the others. You're part of something bigger here. The individual not only thrives, but shines even more brightly with the help of their brethren. It all requires a certain devotion. In the end, it's really quite in the best interests of everyone's careers. A rising tide raises all boats, as they say. Speaking of the team, such as they are in their present deranged state, how did you make it past them? You know, without being killed. Aha! Thought so. Sometimes with screaming, it can be difficult to discern intent, like, I'm being killed, can be so close to, I'm running amok. Shame. The staff and I all had such good chemistry together. Suppose it couldn't be helped, though. What matters most is getting out of here alive, saving our researchers a close second, and curing my remaining colleagues a firm third. As you're now one of them, I'll take that as a compliment. But enough glad-handing me. Regarding what we need, well, it should all be rather straightforward, yes? I suspect we'd use a top-down indirect coronium synthesis method, don't you think? Oh dear. It's occurred to me this might benefit to some extent from medical training. Are you perhaps someone well-versed with pharmacological matters? Apologies. I do tend to assume everyone has a doctorate. No matter, if you are capable of following simple instructions, I'm sure I can guide you through it. Tremendous. Well then, before we roll up our sleeves and determine what's needed, any questions? Whole thing was ghastly. One of my assistants and I heard a loud noise. He left to investigate while I continued working on our experiment. When he failed to return, I peeked outside and saw the others run in, bloody, gibbering, hunting for targets. They'd clearly been exposed to some virulent new form of experimental agent. I ran back and locked myself in this test chamber to avoid contamination. Well then, anything else before we proceed? Well, you'd certainly think so, but management sets the goals. Our humble research team works to deliver. But as much as I'd love to natter on, we probably ought to get matters underway. We'll need two things: fresh samples of the red spores and the findings from the expedition that originally uncovered them. After that, an antidote should be possible in relatively short order, with your skilled assistance, of course. How exceedingly fortunate. Just one thing left to gather, then. Spore samples may be taken from a red plant indigenous to an area of tall rock formations northwest of here, ingeniously referred to as the Red Spire. once we have an antidote firmly in hand, we can save my remaining colleagues. So best not murder them all in the meantime.
Typical Auntie's choice. Moving fast and breaking things.
Designed it, and the Sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the Sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community, purpose, time for recreation. We sleep well at night.
Huh. Well,
Strenuous or
at least it's not shooting the water anymore.
and plentiful. We have everything we need.
Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile. Do hate to come off impolite. If you're so inclined, we can pick this up later, after you two confabulate. Word to the wise, despite what you might hear, we still consider ourselves part of the Protectorate. Anyone spots an outsider engaging in misdeeds might just open fire.
Flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological
How empty are the lives of anti-subjects that they need to rely on consumerism to find meaning? May the Sovereign guide you.
A meticulously designed marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how invasive species can unbalance even the most robust ecosystem.
Simply saying I'd rest easier if he'd been assigned to it. Originally. That generator goes?
Nice weather we have been having, or not having. Goodbye.
The system abides, but now, more than ever, we must all work hard to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They
No, I just feel sad for them. It's even in their name. Auntie's Choice.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance.
Glad the wireless told me that I'm happy and everything's splendid. I was tempted to feel sad after the ocean flooded my house.
Led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury of paradise affords us. A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community.
I inhaled so much dust and debris during the attack.
Work isn't
Still hurts
strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful.
Trust the plan, observe set progress, sustain the system, serve the sovereign.
My favorite is, we must rout all disruptive factors and invasive elements.
Challenges do arise. We all know how invasive species can unbalance even the most...
I was sad for a moment because my house got
like those nettlesome raptidons.
Did you hear? They're letting anyone who wants to train at the Arbiter's facility.
The matriarch and sovereign chose Eden, the perfect ecotope as our home country, and devised the paradigm as
Greetings, non-protectorate wretches. With regret, I must inform you that those outside our glorious society may not take freely from our stocks, as our subjects do. However, I may offer you a limited selection of premium items for moderate respective fees.
Minor disruption.
Initiating.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Almost missed the routine certitude of my assigned profession.
That you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
Entering a confrontational state.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just leave with. Just give the signal. Save that for the wrongdoers.
Engaging hostile life forms.
Sit or sprint? Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff for the taking around here. Motherload of loot. Plenty to get me back in the sprat race. Just didn't account for all these crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight.
This looks like the
live lean
place.
off all these supplies.
Oh, I haven't felt this high strung since Horizon Point.
Or maybe open the door and bolt.
Just hope he's here.
Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
Niles.
Howdy, Zed. You look... well.
Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters.
I didn't know. Didn't realize you would...
What else was I to think? You disappeared. Sent no word. Death was the best I could have hoped for you, given the alternatives. Let's not mince words. You ran from the cause. I stayed, and suffered for it. Now you turn up with this stranger. And who precisely are you? Another Earth Directorate cast-off? I hope not for your sake. Niles doesn't have the best history of looking after his friends.
Bring that boil down to a simmer, Zeb. This is my commander. one who was with me at Horizon Point.
So you're the one responsible for the severity of Niall's injuries. You ordered him to remain behind on a fruitless recovery effort. I never did perfect my bedside manner. So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine. That would depend on what vision you have for Arcadia's future. Everyone seems to think they alone know what's best for this colony.
Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting.
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Fuck! It's all coming apart.
I knew something was wrong. What have you gotten yourself into here, Zed?
That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please. It has to do with the location of a vault rumored to house the Protectorate's greatest technological advancements, including its skip drive designs. That's all I'll say for now.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
I'll answer what I can. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct and she was taken to be refreshed. I never heard what her alleged crime was meant to be. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look into what had happened, the more discomfort I felt. Then I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so small, claustrophobic, repressive. And my smoldering resentments became a full conflagration. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds. The Crabbles? They keep people away who might otherwise stumble into my operation here. I feel kindly toward them. Ah, of course. Hogarth and his unfortunate charges would be top of mind if you've explored the nearby settlement. I sympathize with the plight of those in Westport. They want nothing to do with me, of course, or anyone outside the Sovereign's grace, which has been to my benefit. I do believe that one day, the truth of the Protector's iniquity will be too obvious to ignore. But for now, not even a crowbar could pry open all those shut eyes. Do you always put your hands on other people's things?
Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Look who's back.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient against seizure, sabotage, and manipulative indoctrination.
course, it's part of the Sovereign's plan. He floods our houses, which makes more habitat for fish, which offers us more to eat, which gives us the strength to build new houses. But then, how do I cook the fish? Word on the wireless is that Auntie's choice is years behind us sociologically. So they've started the war to grab any part of the paradigm that they can. Word on the wireless is that Auntie's choice is years behind us sociologically. So they've started the war to grab any part of the
arrive
paradigm
soon. We'll
that
have
they
to start
can.
cutting. You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. You haven't heard? When Antes invaded, they broke the seawall. Flooded nearly half the town below, where most of the domiciles were. A number of our subjects drowned. Others got concussed, or even crushed. A few were electrocuted or exposed to caustics. Took a while for our water purifier to catch up, so some drank tainted water, which is not good for you at all. I'm glad it's working again. All right, well, don't let me keep you.
Greetings. Ecosystem, the native flora and fauna, the
It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to Protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance.
like those nettlesome raptidons or the base individualists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
I beg to differ. Those walls have stood for over a century and would easily have stood for another, were it not for Auntie's greed and envy, and explosives.
Record states as follows. All inhabitants
inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense.
Our society was built from the bedrock up through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all, unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it.
Personal freedom is just another way to encourage selfish consumerism. Why, we've even eradicated manual labor through our perfection of auto mechanicals. Can aunties claim such? That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence, automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Oh, you failed to hear the loudspeakers on the way in? The announcement we're obliged to repeat incessantly. Well, allow me to paraphrase. Protectorate law finds us guilty of treason on account of letting Westport fall prey to Auntie's choice saboteurs.
And rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch, working with and through the sovereign, devised the paradigm, a meticulously designed marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces...
Well, obviously, we've forsaken our duties as members of the Protectorate. It is incumbent upon us to fight to the death, yet we still live, as does our enemy. Now, either the Arbiters arrive to execute us, or this place falls under the vapid boot heel of Auntie's choice. No matter who wins, we cannot sustain ourselves here for long.
The system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride.
These fine and decent folk don't deserve having their lives thrown away on account of my failures. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the Arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such. Hence my use of the term reasonable facsimile. I owe it to every single person here to try.
Due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our...
Farewell now.
They sneer at our contentment.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the human societies were constantly out of balance. Led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Earth, we all enjoy the full functioning of paradigm affords us. plentiful. We have everything
Welcome back.
we need. Prudence dictates.
Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. What sort of payment do you seek? Don't imagine we have much you need.
You are the raw material for perfection.
Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask?
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect ecosystem. The native
Difficult place to saunter into. Stations off limits to anyone without the highest security clearance. For anyone lacking reason to be there, it's assured suicide. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in.
if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for
Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride.
Farewell now.
Forming on your neighbors, same as ever. But prudence dictates we give
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Outside.
Under protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant.
Don't suppose you checked in with Vigilant Hogarth yet, eh? Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport.
Disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which are a fair amount more complex. It's just, subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able.
resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life of contentment and
I think he's bearing up admirably given recent events. Which, of course, are completely fine, and we are all in no way concerned about. The system being resilient and all. Hogarth's reliable as the Arcadian sun. I mean, I know it'll burn out in about 12 billion years and all, but considering our meager lifespan, that's plenty dependable enough for me. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides.
The most exalted vigilant. We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Much to do, truly. Toughest challenge now is upkeep of key apparatus. If that generator goes, for instance, doubt I have means to fix it. We lose power to charge our mechs, this place is done for. Final nail in the coffin, or similarly minded metaphor of your choosing. Not that the paradigm would allow that, of course. Curativist Row is a fine sort, pillar of our community. Might impatient, sure, but with how busy she is, we'd all do well to respect her time. Watch out for that wine trot fellow. Talk your ear off if you let him. Kinda lonesome, but doesn't let anybody near his place for some reason. Even before the flooding. Everybody else? Decent enough, I guess. Well, mechs do all the heavy work for us in the Protectorate. Just like each of us, each type of mech has their assigned specialty. Takes a little doing, but you can readjust them. A combat mech can be reconfigured to oversee comestible distribution, for instance. Or mine or harvest crops. All you need is the know-how to retool their subroutines. And the right parts. Plenty of parts. Granted, reprogrammed mechs are never as efficient as those specially made for a role, but they get by, eventually. After a fashion. Outsider.
Minor disruption.
Is a fellow subject
Everything, literally everything I own is underwater.
What do you mean? Everything we have belongs to the Sovereign. We own nothing. But surely the Protectorate will provide anything we need.
Of course they will.
Doubt is if I had a nightmare that the matriarch didn't gift us the paradigm. And we were left to scramble for purpose and profit like empty workers.
Due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Ah, appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintrott. Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials.
Time for recreation. We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful.
Why, they are certainly inspiring. There's this one character who just laughs at danger, says he hand makes his own luck. Is that not the grandest thing you ever heard? You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets.
We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
If I understand the subtext, that means yes. Dearie me, you are the first secret agent I have ever met. At least in waking life. Now, do tell, what is the latest word from the field?
The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex...
Really? What was he like? Bold? Assertive? With a wildly obstreperous theatrical air?
Devised the paradigm, a meticulously designed marvel where...
Is that so? Do tell me more.
Glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes...
An audacious proposal. Yet this place, despite its recent humidity, remains comfortable and familiar.
Like those nettlesome raptidons, or the base individualist...
Why, just imagine it. A new life full of breakneck decision-making and fending for oneself. But no, while I have acquired a distinct craving for certain Auntie's Choice products, I remain a good, loyal Protectorate subject at heart, if not in stomach. Hate to dash everyone's hopes. Suppose I am still part of the herd.
Extra added zeal for now, just to
Huh? You do that? Really? No, I do not believe your dissemblage. A true go-getter would never resort to such tactics. I see right through it, plain as day.
Are you mentally refreshed?
Of course. Toodaloo.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and...
Prudence dictates that we watch our neighbors, but I may just invite him over to make it easier.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our
Hey
sense
there,
of
go-getter.
community. They sneer at our contentment.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes
Look who's back.
the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life.